Good night, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. It's nice to be back, and I am hoping to answer your questions tonight. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments. As you are coming in, as you are putting your questions in the comments, I'm going to formally introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. Hi there, Sharda. You can go ahead and start putting your questions in the comments. Now, I am U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards in the United States. So fix their status if they're out of status, or come into the United States if they're outside of the United States. Hi there. Good evening, JK Check. It's nice to see you. Zagas, it's nice to see you. Thank you for saying hello. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Now, I am U.S. Immigration Attorney. You can go to the link in my bio where it will take you to the website. You can learn more about the law firm, ST Law Office. You can also go ahead and contact the firm. There is someone who is available, a scheduling coordinator who is available up until 11 p.m. tonight and up until 11 p.m. Monday to Friday to answer your questions. Hi there, Fanta. It's nice to see you. It's good to see you too. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. Take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your questions right now. So I usually come with a topic to talk about, and so I am going to talk about how to apply for the green card on your own. I know I talk about this a lot, but I can't stress the importance of you knowing about this option because many people don't know it. My online status say my case has been rejected because of sufficient funds, but I got biometrics appointment in the mail. So I'm not sure that there is some sort of discrepancy going on. So if you got your whole, if it was rejected, you would have gotten the whole application back. And so it's what you need to do is if you have that biometrics appointment letter and it has your receipt number on there, call them and make sure that you straighten out that discrepancy there. Make sure that you have your biometrics appointment and everything is set and ready to go. So call the customer service number. Way that I sometimes get an individual on the phone is to just say you want an InfoPass appointment. You can also look at your biometrics appointment and look for the number, and they can confirm that. So I have my appointment soon, but I also in my divorce process, what would happen? So JK, in this case, it's complex because if you're going through divorce and you have filed based on the marriage, you're definitely, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be approved based on the marriage if you are going through a divorce and your spouse you don't reconcile by the time the process is over. Now, if there is a chance that you reconcile or you go through marital counseling before the final interview, perhaps there is a chance. No, but keep in mind again that if you're getting a divorce because of mistreatment by your spouse and you would like assistance to move forward with the process, go ahead, schedule a consultation. We can evaluate your situation further. Sharda, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. So I have my appointment soon, but okay, so it's a citizenship application. So JK, if you were married for under 3 years to your U.S. citizen spouse and you're applying for citizenship based on the marriage, then you would not qualify unless you had your green card for at least 5 years. And it depends on how you got your green card, but it's usually 5 years, or if you're married, you have been married to a U.S. citizen for 3 years, you could apply at the 3-year mark. Do I have to renew my green card? I submitted my N400, but my green card expires in a month. So, Fanta, you will not stop being a permanent resident if your card expires. However, keep in mind that you're required to have some sort of evidence of permanent residence. That can be problematic when you have to, if you're looking for a new job, or you have to show identification, or you have to prove to an entity or to an authority that you are in fact a permanent resident, not having a card that is current can be problematic in that respect. So while you can move forward with your citizenship application, what will happen is that if you do need to show evidence of permanent residence in other ways, you will have an issue with that. So you will face an issue with proving that you have a legal right to work, proving you're a permanent resident. So you really would have to evaluate your situation and determine whether it is best to apply for a new green card. However, it won't stop you from being a permanent resident. Did my I-130 petition for my family in Jamaica and don't hear back from USCIS. It has been a year. So if it has been a year, and I don't know if you received a receipt notice, Jerome, if you received a receipt notice, keep in mind that I-130s are taking a while. It's taking over a year to get an approval. So if sometimes you won't hear anything until the approval notice. Hi there, Kayla Singh. It's nice to see you. So what you need to do is go ahead and call, make sure that everything is okay on your case. You can check the status online. Sometimes it's just going to say that they are currently processing your case, and that's fine. You can also check case processing times, because the case processing times will tell you how long it's taking. If you're outside of the case processing time, then maybe it's time to contact them and figure out what's going on and make sure everything is okay with your case. Can I travel? My newborn travel with her birth certificate. So usually not. So your baby has to have a passport. So now if you're a U.S. citizen, every U.S. citizen who is leaving the country and they're coming back must have a passport, including babies. My spouse sent an I-130 about 2 years now and still waiting. So it depends on what the circumstances are. So they sent in an I-130, check the case processing time. There is a backlog, and it really depends on the service center that's evaluating the I-130. There is, if you go to USCIS.gov and you go to case processing times, you can look at the service center that has your case. You can look and see if your case is outside of the case processing times, or if it's 2 years is within the processing time, because unfortunately that is the case at some service center. So my advice is just check on the status of your case. Make sure that there's nothing pending for you to be submitting, like a request for evidence, and make sure that there's nothing that they are requesting that they're waiting for. I had my green card for 5 years. So JK, check. While I'm providing you general information, having your green card for a minimum of 5 years is enough, whether you're married or to a U.S. citizen or not. If you're going through a divorce, then it does not matter once you have your green card for 5 years. But keep in mind, I don't know your circumstances, and so I wouldn't be able to give you particular legal advice, but the information I'm giving you here is general information. If you want to schedule a consultation, feel free to call and schedule a consultation. My number is all over my videos. You can also go to the link in my bio and go to the website for the contact information. If I'm on the deportations, can I still marry someone to get my green card? So that may be a possibility. It just depends, though. This is a complex situation. Now, in some cases, while you're going through the deportation, if you are married to a U.S. citizen, for example, now keep in mind, I noticed you said, can I still marry someone to get my green card? No, you cannot marry someone just for the green card. You will not be able to do that. However, keep in mind that if you are currently going through the proceedings, there may be a way for you to still apply for your permanent resident and have the proceedings terminated. However, it depends on what the circumstances are in your particular case. This is complex stuff. You'll definitely need an attorney to help you, Kayla Singh. This is an area I work on, so you can call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation. Jerome Williams, I got approved notice already. So Jerome, thanks for sharing the live, by the way. So if you got your approval notice, Jerome, it may just depend on who is filing for you. So is it a spouse? Is it a U.S. citizen spouse? Is it a parent? How old are you? Because even though it may be approved, what may happen is it may have moved to the National Visa Center, where it's going to sit and wait for your national visa immigrant visa number. Your immigrant visa number to become available. Once that's available, then they'll be ready to process your case. That can take additional years. It just depends. I have my own business. I just want to go and shop and need a visa. What are the requirements? So in this case, it probably is going to be a B. If you're just coming for a short period of time to do short transactions, it's going to still be a B visa, and you'll need to go to the embassy for that. And you'll need to show, you'll need to show the purpose of your visit, that is going to be a short visit, that you won't be doing any extended stays or stay in permanently. And you also can show your strong ties, that you own a business, that you just need brief trips to go and get your inventory. My mother on filing from 2007 and all know nothing. Avi 876, if you're over 21, then your case is going to go on for much longer. If you're married, so my mother on filing from 2007, so it all depends on what the circumstances are in your case. Avi. So if you're over 21, you're married, and your mother is a U.S. citizen, that is going to be a little over a decade in processing time. So what you can do is you can check on the National Visa Bulletin for your processing times, and you'll notice, if you look at your receipt notice and you look, or your mom can look at the receipt notice, and if you see that priority date, use that to look at what priority date they're currently processing. I have 3 stepchildren, are undocumented, did paperwork before and got denied. So user 5801, I would definitely have to evaluate your situation to determine why it got denied. Now, is it that they don't qualify as stepchildren under immigration law? That may be the case, but I wouldn't be able to advise unless we're in a consultation. If you got married before any of your 3 stepchildren, so if they were not under 18 at the time that you got married to the spouse, the parent, then they will not be considered stepchildren under immigration law. And also, it depends on how you got denied. Were you trying to do an adjustment of status? You said that they're undocumented. And so if they're undocumented, were you trying to do an adjustment of status? How did they come into the country? Are you a permanent resident, or are you a U.S. citizen? What age were they when you got married to the biological parent? So all of that will factor into my legal advice. I get approved notice already almost a year now, but nothing more as yet. So Jerome, it depends on who is sponsoring you. It can go on for years, so keep that in mind. He has applied for citizenship. Will that speed up the process for my I-130? So applying for citizenship alone isn't going to speed up the I-130. However, keep in mind, once they become a U.S. citizen, then you will become an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, and you will take priority in the green card process, and that may very well speed up the approval of the I-130, and most importantly, the rest of the process. So the rest of the process will go from maybe 2 years to 18 months. How much to pay to talk to you? So Avi, it's $150 for up to an hour. Now, I always say it is well worth it, because 1, you get to talk to me and get legal advice for up to an hour. You walk out knowing what you qualify for, whether you're on the right path, whether something is going wrong in your case, whether you need a further assistance, whether you need representation, and you can walk out with me as your immigration attorney. So you get a lot of value. You walk out being empowered with the information you need to make decisions about how you need to move forward in your case. Eveline 200, thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate that, and you're welcome. This is why I'm here. I'm here to share this information. So Avi 876, not married. My grandma is filing for my mother. So Avi, if you have to be under 21 to be able to go along with your mother. How long is gonna take fiance visa? So it's taking a little over a year, Habib. It could be a little over a year to 18 months. And Eveline, thank you for that. I really appreciate that encouragement, and I'm gonna keep showing up for you. So Avi 876, you're welcome. So keep those questions coming. These are all great questions, and I want to see more of them. If you're going through an immigration related issue, if you filed an immigration application, if you're thinking about filing, or if you went through the process and you still have questions, here is your chance to ask your question and get an answer. Is there any way I can extradite my AOS? My husband is in the military and he's going on deployment. So there are ways to expedite your case, but keep in mind it usually has to be a compelling issue to be able to expedite the adjustment of status application. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, great, Habib. I can't wait to speak with you. Awesome. So I can't wait to speak with you. Thanks for confirming that appointment. So Ahmed, thanks for the smiley face. So go ahead, keep your questions coming, and keep in mind that my phone lines are open 24/7. Call, schedule a consultation, empower yourself with the information you need to make the right decisions for your situation. What do you think will happen on my interview day? My husband is deployed. So usually what they will probably have to do is reschedule, because if your spouse is not there, they would not be able to evaluate your case. So Tello, call, schedule a consultation. Let's talk about the timeline here and then discuss your options further. My partner is a green card holder for 3 years. I overstayed and we're about to get married. So if your partner's a green card holder and you overstayed, you will need, my question is, a green card holder of 2 years, be sponsor. Now he can be a sponsor. Yes, he can. Now there are two ways to approach this. The green card holder can sponsor their spouse's action here. So if you overstayed, I'm sorry if I lost connection. I am back. So if you overstayed, your green card, you're not going to qualify for adjustment of status. What you're going to qualify for is what's called an I-601A waiver. It's a hardship waiver based on your green card holder's spouse's extreme hardships if you don't get the green card. So it is a complex process, a more complex process, but what it does is it basically allows you to leave the country to attend your interview. So you wait for the waiver to be approved. Once it's approved, you can then wait until the interview date, go to the interview, and then after the interview, your overstay won't be held against you, and you would be able to, once it's approved, you would be able to come back to the US. Highly recommend that before you file anything, it's Jojo Shaw, get legal advice to see what your options are, because you are going to likely have to go through this waiver process. Now, if your green card holder spouse becomes a US citizen, then they can apply for you as the immediate relative of a US citizen, and as long as you came into the country with a visa, you would be able to adjust status. But if you don't want to wait for the years that it will take for your spouse to become a US citizen, there is always this waiver process. So Gayla Moroso, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. The cost of the consultation is $150 for up to an hour. You walk out knowing what you qualify for, whether you're on the right path, whether you need help. It avoids you to make mistakes in your immigration case, because so many times I do speak to individuals who end up making mistakes in their application process. or they were about to make a mistake, and so the consultation alone helped them to prevent making those mistakes. They also learned about better options for them to get the green card. So what you can do, schedule a consultation. You can go to the link in my bio where it will take you to the website. The phone number is there. There's a scheduling coordinator who is available right now to answer your call and schedule the consultation. Can someone that was deported re-enter the United States legally? Yes. Now, if you got deported and then came back into the country without inspection, that could lead to a permanent bar. So you don't want to do that. Permanent bar means never get a green card again, never get a visa again. So very important that you do follow the legal channels to re-enter the country. It is possible. It just depends on what happened in your background, whether there's a waiver available or an exception available for you to return. They said it's expired but never requests a new one. So Tug, they said it's buyer but never. I am not understanding. Can you retype that? A grandparent cannot file for you. So a grandparent can't file for you. What about a regular question before starting anything? I'm in a situation and would have a question. So get legal advice. That's the best way to be able to make sure you're on the right path, make sure that your interests are protected along the way. So, and thanks for the follow, Lacey. How to apply for naturalization. So there is a special form. It's called the N400 form. That is the main form that's used to apply for naturalization. Now you do need to qualify by having your green card for a specific amount of time. So you have to have your green card for generally 5 years. However, if you are married to a U.S. citizen, you can apply in 3 years. You also have to show good moral character. Good moral character just means that there's nothing in your background that's going to reflect badly on your good moral character. No criminal issues, no issues with alcoholism, no the most surprising thing is infidelity, adultery. So if you were in a relationship with someone else while you were married and that broke up the marriage, that can go against you in an immigration as naturalization. That's just a shocking aspect of the good moral character requirement. But keep in mind that you have to meet those good moral character requirements as well. So if there is a criminal issue, you want to make sure. Criminal issues don't necessarily automatically disqualify you, so you want to make sure that you get legal advice first to see if it will disqualify you, or you can move forward with your citizenship application. I'm doing a VAWA, did my biometrics this April, have not heard anything since. So you are going to, while you're applying, you are going to have times where you're not going to hear anything in between. So if you did your biometrics in April, trust me, that still is not unusual. Just continue to check your case, even though with VAWA, it is, you do have to check the status in writing because it's such a confidential process. But just make sure you check up on other aspects of your VAWA case or your adjustment of status. Make sure there's nothing that they need from you. And it's just basically a waiting game from there. In the United States, alone and pregnant, do you think there's a way I can expedite my case? Telux, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. And there may be a possibility because you have to have a compelling case. So if you are pregnant, you are, going through complications, and you need to get through the process quickly, there can be a way to request to expedite the case. But you will need to schedule a consultation. But it is possible. You just have to show the evidence. So Z35, ZQ, you're welcome. How can I adopt baby from India? So Avi Sonia, I don't usually advise on adoption per se. It's mostly on how to go through the adoption process when it comes to the immigration side of it. So that would be another attorney. In Dominican Republic, is it better applying for tourist visa or fiance visa will be faster to the USA? So in the Dominican Republic, the fiance visa is definitely not going to be faster than the tourist visa, and the fiance visa has completely different requirements. So the fiance visa is not a temporary visa just for someone to go back and forth for your fiance. It is for the intention of your fiance coming to the United States to get married to you within 90 days. So it is a more involved process for sure. You're welcome, Tello. Could grandparents file? So no, grandparents can't file for their grandchildren. Keep in mind though that if grandparents are going to file for parents and the parent's child is under 21 and unmarried, they could possibly go along with them to get the green card. How long does someone have to wait for a work permit? It's taking about 6 to 8 months right now, Amanda Husbands. So keep your questions coming. That's exactly why I'm here, and these are the kinds of questions I want to hear. So go ahead and keep putting your questions in the comments. Take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions right now. How long can it take for a father, U.S. citizen, to file for a child over 21? So if the child over 21 is unmarried, it's taking about 6 to 7 years right now. Amanda Husbands, you're welcome. So it is taking 6 to 7 years right now. Unfortunately, it is still a much longer process than if you're under 21 and unmarried. So keep those questions coming. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is fixing your status if you're here in the United States. So many times I talk about having a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident spouse or parent and how that can fix your status. And one way that can fix your status is if your relative is here, your U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse or parent, they're here with you, and if you don't get the green card, they will experience extreme hardship. So one is that usually means they're dependent on you. They may depend on you for care. They may depend on you to help with the kids. They may depend on you for other means, and it really depends on the circumstances. And in that case, you could very well qualify for an extreme hardship waiver that would allow you to stay in the United States, apply for the waiver, and then if it's granted, all being well is granted, you would be able to leave the country at the time that the interview is scheduled to go and attend the interview in your home country. This is for individuals that don't qualify to apply for the green card while being in the United States. How long would it take for your spouse to come to the U.S. if you're a U.S. citizen? So it could take anywhere from 18 months to 24 months. The 18-month period is the average time. How long after you did your medical form, it's expired? I did mine in February. Form was not filled out. So now with the medical form, it has to be completed by a physician. And right now they have extended the validity of the medical. So it's no longer a year, I believe it's 18 months, and that could have changed. So you could go to USCIS.gov to check on the validity period. But that is why with my clients, I advise them to take the medical right before their final interview, because at that point they can go into the interview and know that it's not expired, it's good. Usually sometimes what happens is some individuals do the medical right when they file their application, and then the processing time is so long that it expires and they have to spend the money to do another one. So I just say submit it right before the interview. Keep your questions coming because I am here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments right now and I will answer. Now, I want to let you know that I am here to help clients to get their green card and status in the United States. So if you have an issue, go ahead, call, schedule a consultation, or put your question in the comments right now. If my U.S. citizen husband is not working, can he still file for me? It's because of COVID. So yes, he would be able to still file for you. However, keep in mind, you will need a joint sponsor, somebody with an income that can meet the requirements for your husband. So that's going to be very important. If filing starts while the person is in JA but goes to the US and overstays, will that be an issue? Lacey, it may. It just depends on what the status of the person is. Who is filing? How did they get into the US to overstay? So it's definitely a complex issue that you'll need legal advice on. They say it's an expired but did not request a next one. Okay, so if they say it's expired, I don't know what the date is on it. You know, that's where sitting down with you in a consultation would come in. But if it's expired, you likely have to do a new one. If it's expired and if you have evidence it's not, then you can definitely point that out. But if not, and you know it's expired, you're probably going to have to do another one. But what I would say is, I don't know at what point you are in the process. Are you... did you go to the interview already and now they're requesting that medical to be the last thing they need? It all depends, because if you haven't gone to your interview yet, you could wait until the interview to do the other one. If you've done your interview and now they have submitted a request for evidence and then you'll need to go ahead and do that. You'll need to go ahead and do that then. How long for a spouse visa? So the spouse visa right now is taking about 18 to 24 months. My family would like to transition. How can you assist? So it depends on how your family qualifies. Kavashan Nastor, it depends. That's where the consultation would definitely have to come in. Can file forgiveness waiver if you're a green card holder? Yes. So if you have a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card, then that is a way to qualify for this type of waiver. I have a green card but didn't visit the USA for almost 2 years due to pandemic. Can I still come to the USA? So in this case, after you've been outside of the United States for more than a year, there is a presumption that you have abandoned your permanent residence. But keep in mind that due to the pandemic is an important piece of information that you've given here, and that may be a good justification. It just depends on the reason why you stayed out. Was somebody sick? Was somebody sick? Were you sick? All of these circumstances will definitely be relevant. But there's what's called an SB1 visa that you would have to apply for, an SB1 returning resident visa. And you have to show that you still maintain ties in the United States, that you didn't intend to stay outside of the United States, and that you'll continue, when you come to the US, you'll complete the permanent residence process in the United States. Call, schedule a consultation, and we can definitely see if this is something that will be a solution in your case, Shivani. So Tug Tug 1981, no interview soon. So in this case, I don't know what your situation is. Still don't know at what point you are in the process. However, for my clients, if they haven't had their interview, I usually let them do the medical right when they get the interview notice. Then they can do the medical. What state are you located? I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. However, keep in mind, I represent clients all over the United States, not limited by borders when it comes on to immigration law, and also not limited by the borders of the United States. I represent clients all over the world. So I work with the U.S. embassies all over the world. I work with the National Visa Center that deals with cases all over the world. I work with the USCIS offices all over the country, and immigration courts all over the country. So my mom filed for me, and I live within the United States. So Ghana boy, if you live within the United States and you are over 21 and you're out of status, then you would have to look at whether this waiver could be an option. I don't know what your case is. I'm giving you general information. Schedule a consultation and let's talk more about whether you qualify for this type of waiver to fix your status and go on to continue to get the green card. Indy Samoya, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If a person on filing comes through the U.S. border, can the person go back to Jamaica and come back on the filing? So if a person on filing come through the U.S., can the person go back to Jamaica and come back? So it depends. Now, if you have overstayed AVI and you have overstayed and you're in the United States, you know, if you leave the United States after overstaying, you would not be able to come back. There would be a bar. If you overstayed over 6 months, then you have a 3-year bar automatically if you leave the United States. Now, I don't know if you mean if you can go back and forth if a filing is pending. That just all depends. You're welcome, Shivani. Okay, my sister is a citizen. She will be 21. So yes, but keep in mind, Kavashana Store, that your sister filing for you as a U.S. citizen, she would not. Takes a minimum of 14 years. In the Caribbean, in other countries, it's taking much longer. For example, Mexico, it's taking over 22 years. So it's not a quick solution, especially if you're in the United States and you're undocumented. So get legal advice about your options here. So AVI 876, because the filing already reached interview. Okay. So AVI, definitely call, schedule, get legal advice. Can file for forgiveness waiver if I already live. So Ghana boy, get legal advice. It sounds like you have a U.S. citizen mom. If you're in the United States, you can apply for this waiver if it's the only immigration violation that you have on your record. So that's where it's important for you to get your case evaluated personally to determine whether this is an option. So thanks for the follow. IBN 94, thanks so much. I'm married to a U.S. citizen for 11 years now. So Miss Unpredictable, if you're married to a U.S. citizen for 11 years now, and you came into the country with a visa, but you overstayed, that could definitely be a possible path to you to a green card. But I'd have to evaluate your situation to see if you already do you have your green card. Are you applying for citizenship now? I'm not sure based on that sentence what your situation is. My sister is a U.S. citizen. How long is that process? So a minimum of 14 years. In Mexico, it's 22 years. In India, I believe it's 15 years. In the Philippines, it's 19 years. So it is taking quite a long time. I'm America Brown. It's thanks for the follow. My son is a U.S. citizen. Can I reward his passport, renew his passport at a U.S. embassy? So usually that's where you would have to do it if you can't do it in the U.S. I applied for a visa and I was denied. How can you advise me, please? So it depends on why you were denied. Usually it's because they're not convinced you have strong enough ties to your home country that convinces them when you visit the U.S. you will return to your home country. So the key is to show that you have such strong ties to your home country that you will return. That means a job, business, property, mortgage, debt, school, strong family ties, those kind of things. I 130 approved, but I overstayed. What to do? So VRP0, can't stress this enough. You need to evaluate whether you qualify for the waiver and how to approach this. Call 561-405-4889. If you missed that number, go to the link in my bio, go to the website and call that number. There's a scheduling coordinator who is available up until 11 p.m. at night, tonight and every night, Monday to Friday, to take your calls. So go ahead. So let's see. I-130 approved, but I overstayed. I really appreciate. I'm Lacey. I'm glad. That's exactly why I'm here, and I enjoy coming on here and talking to all of you as well. So thank you for that. We'll definitely let my dad contact you as I'm about to start the process. Perfect. Definitely. It's the best time to do it is right before you're going to start the process. You make sure you empower yourself with the information you need to get started. Link is not working. Okay. So I will have to check that afterwards. But what you can do is call 561-405-4889 to schedule a consultation. You can also go to stlawoffice.com, and that's the website as well. How can a green card holder renew a Jamaica passport? So you'll have to go through the Jamaica consulate to be able to renew that passport. So go visit the website, the Jamaican consulate. I'm not a Jamaican immigration attorney, but that will probably be where you can get that information. What's next after biometrics? It depends. Now, usually you will get what's called the work permit. If you applied for the work permit, you get the work permit after the biometrics, if you qualify and if it's approved. Shanika, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Ghana boy, thanks for sharing the live, and I am looking forward to hearing from you because it sounds like you really need advice. So America Brown, can you go ahead and retype your question? I think I lost connection at one point and I may have missed your question. So go ahead and retype your question, please. For those of you who I did not see your question, you can go ahead and always retype your question so that I can see it as I move along. So what's the next step after doing biometrics? Still waiting for provisional waiver approval. So if you're applying for the provisional waiver, in this case, you're just going to have to wait for the actual approval on the waiver. There is no work permit for those who are applying for this type of waiver. So it's usually the next step would be either a decision on the waiver or a request for evidence. Rosalie, thanks for the follow. My daughter's in the US. How can she get her green card? So it depends on how she qualifies. Does she qualify through, and thanks for retyping, America Brown. It depends. Does she qualify through you? Are you a U.S. citizen? Is her other parent a U.S. citizen or a green card holder? Does she have any other prospects? So what has she been through? That's where a consultation is very important, because I can really sift through your daughter's circumstances to determine whether she has a way to qualify. Now, what you'll see me talk about a lot is having a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent, because that could be a way to fix your status if you're in the United States and you don't qualify, to adjust status, to apply for the green card while being in the United States. So usually what that means is you get forgiveness for the overstay if you can show that your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. So Jay Shafella, thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate it. It's been almost 2 years since kids petition kids in Jamaica. So it depends on what's going on. What's your status? What's the status of the kids? Where is the case right now? Sweet Shaven. Make sure you check on your case that they're not asking for you for information that you haven't provided to them. Waiting 3 years for renewal of my green card I-90. So that is a long time to wait for a renewal usually. Now what you can do is check your case processing time, Boba 96. Look at where it is being processed and look at the processing time for that center. And if that center, if it's outside of the range, so for example, some centers have a processing time of 9 months. If you're at 3 years, you're way outside of the case processing time, and it may be time to submit a case inquiry to see if you can, to see whether they can investigate why your case is so outside of the processing time and whether they can move up your case. So very important that you check on your case processing times. Master P 1128, thanks for the follow. I am America Brown. You're welcome. Yes, we did the I-765. Thanks for knowledge. I know a lot of us having similar situations. So you are welcome. So keep your questions coming because I am here to answer your U.S. immigration questions. Now, I am U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards in the United States. Now, if you have an issue and you don't feel comfortable asking your question here, you can also schedule a consultation. Boba 96, I'm located in Boca Raton, Florida. However, you'll always hear me say I represent clients in all 50 states. So no matter where you are, whether you're in the U.S., outside of the U.S., I can help as long as it's a U.S. immigration issue. Immigration attorneys can represent clients all over the country, and that's exactly what I do. If you lost your I-94 that show you enter the country legally, how can you file for a green card? There are ways to still obtain a copy of that I-94. So there is a website where you can go and pull that I-94 again. It depends on how long ago though. So that is one way. So if you go to the CBP website, cbp.gov, and you pull up most recent I-94, it depends on when you enter, that could be one way to pull it up. What version of citizenship is being issued right now? The 2008 test. So they're gone back to the old version. You don't have to worry about this 120 questions that you have to study for. Hi, attorney. AB 60 driver's license is okay to get if my married get annulled and I overstay here. So it depends on what state you are in. Ren Lim Casildo. That's going to be a state specific question, and that's going to be a question for your DMV, your local DMV. Because it depends on the state you're in and what they require of you. I don't see your website. You said, so Ghana boy, it seems like the link isn't working and I'll have to review that. But I am going to go ahead and put that in the comments right now. Let me see if I can do that. So I thought I could put it in the comments, and I used to be able to put, oh, here it is. So I'm going to put my website in the comments for those of you who would like to visit the website. And when I come off of this live, I'll have to check what's going on with the link in my bio to make sure it's working. So it's stlawoffice.com. I'll also have to make sure that the website is up and running. I checked it earlier and it was running fine. So turn down your, okay. So as long as you can hear me, DS Annie Marie, I think that's fine. The most important thing is that you're hearing what I'm saying, you're learning the content, and everything is good with that. So keep those questions coming. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So what is the best way for a family of 5 to transition whereas both parents are able to work? So it depends, Kavash, it depends on how you qualify. There's no answer that I can give you right now without fully evaluating your circumstances. Around 33 years have been very scared to file. So Islander 1103, this is where you should get legal advice. Now, if you're here and you do have a basis to apply, if you have a relative who you can apply through, get legal advice. It may not be as scary as you think. Islander 1103. Very important for you to empower yourself with this knowledge. So call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation, and let's see, you know, it may not be as scary as you think it will be, especially if you qualify. Tabby Kit Kat, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. If I stayed on visa for 5 months, how soon can I re-enter the US? So there is no time, no time, but what you do have to keep in mind is that the officer doesn't want to see Ghana boy. Great, I'm glad you got it. You don't want, the immigration officer doesn't want to see you trying to live in the United States on your visitor's visa. That's where you risk getting it taken away. So for example, are you traveling 5 months, leaving for a week, and then coming back for trying to come back for another 5 months? That is definitely going to put you red flag you and get your visa revoked. So Islander 1103, I'm going to do something better. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my number in the comments. So I'm under the immigration attorney and in the comments, and so it's 561-405-4889. You can scroll through, and then as soon as you see the immigration attorney, you can write down that number. Also, if you follow me and you look at all my videos, my number is plastered all over my videos. On some area of the video, you're going to see the number. After RFE been submitted, what's the next step? So usually to wait for a response. Safia Sands, thanks for the follow. Roshi, you're welcome. Islander 1103, got it. Awesome. Now there is a scheduling coordinator who is available up until 11 p.m. tonight to take your call and schedule your consultation. So go ahead and do that, and let's see if you have options to fix your status. Now, these are all great questions, and I'm still here, as you can see. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments so I can answer those questions right now. It's been a while since I got to really sit down with you all for a long period of time to answer your questions, and so I'm really happy to be here with you to answer those questions. User 699, you're welcome. So you hadn't answered Tabby's question. So let's just see, where's Tabby? Let's see, Tabby. So I don't see Tabby's question. Can Tabby, can you go ahead and retype that question? Because I did not see it. So how much is the price? It's $150 for up to an hour. And as I said before, you empower yourself, you walk out knowing your options, and also knowing whether you are about to make a mistake. So it's worth it. $150 for up to an hour, and the scheduling coordinator will confirm the appointment with you. I entered the United States from the 4th of May. I still don't retrieve my 2-year green card. Is that, so I'm not sure. Okay, so you came in on the 4th of May. And so it may take a couple of weeks. You should check on the status of the card, the production of the card. Make sure everything is going well with that. Is there any delay with filings? Nikki, that's an understatement. An understatement. There are delays everywhere. There are fires burning everywhere. So yes, there are delays. So if you're going through a delay, that just know that you're not alone. And this is a typical thing right now for the immigration process. What I do advise though is you make sure that you are on top of your case. Make sure you are receiving correspondence. Make sure they have your correct address. Make sure that there's nothing pending that could delay your case. And also you could check your case status timeline. And if it's over the period of time that the service center usually takes, you could submit a case inquiry. Thanks for the follow. So that's Shan Show, thanks for the follow, and Tata Set, thanks for the follow as well. So if someone's visa is expired and still in the US, what can they do? So you would have to qualify in some way to fix your status. And that is where, so you either qualify through a family, if you could qualify to adjust status if you have an immediate relative and a U.S. citizen immediate relative. So this is where it's very important to get your case individually evaluated. But you could qualify, if you could qualify to fix your status through a waiver, that could possibly be a way if you have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardships. So now I don't do free consultations because I am providing a value, I am providing a service to my clients. And in order to take the time to do that, to provide the legal advice, I do charge a consultation fee. However, it is worth it because you are getting actual legal advice, you are getting guidance, you walk out knowing your options, knowing what you qualify for, how to move forward in your case. And most importantly, you know whether you're on the right path or whether you were going to make a mistake or whether you are you avoided a mistake. So very important. Okay, so he's asking, how long does it take to get your green card or work permit after getting married? So it's right now it's taking 6 to 8 months for the work permit if all goes well and it is approved, and it's taking 18 to 24 months for marriage-based green cards right now, whether you're in the country or outside of the country. So Tello, thanks for the sharing the live. I appreciate that. Innocent Child Shells 22, thanks for the follow. Okay, so up top 396, my phone went out. Don't worry, I know that has even happened with me where it went out. So can you go ahead and retype your question? Oh, I entered the United States from 4th of May. I still don't retrieve my 2-year green card. So I think you're saying, is that normal? So that may be normal right now. Sometimes there are backlogs with the production of the green card. What you need to do is check on the case, make sure that there's nothing pending on your end. But unfortunately, it can take, more than a month. It can take months to get your green card. So Tabby, how long does it take to get a green card, work permit after getting married to a US? Oh, so I answered that. Let's see. So keep those questions coming. I'm here to answer your questions. And as you can see, I'm still here to answer your immigration questions. So put them in the comments right now and I may go ahead and answer. Now, if you have a question and you just notice that I'm not getting to your question, it's not that I'm ignoring your question. You're welcome up top. It's not that I'm ignoring your question. It may be that your question isn't coming across to me. What you can do, I found that when that happens, it's very helpful to put your questions in the Q&A option on your screen. It's that comments box with a question mark. Put your question there and I can pull it up and see your question and answer it there. So just a little tip if you are having a problem getting your questions across to me. Sometimes if you fall off of the live and come back in, your question disappears with you. So keep that in mind. So I'm still here. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I'm here to answer your questions. And I just want to let you know also that I am here every day. So I'm here every day with very few exceptions. Some days things do get crazy, but that I try to minimize those days that I can't make it. I'm here most days, usually around the end of the day, because I always like to end the days with you to answer your questions. So here I am today to answer your questions. Other ways beside marriage, I'm not illegal, but my job has me here. So through employment, so it sounds like if you have an employer who's here and they're willing to, if they're willing to invest in you, you may very well want to have that conversation with them about applying for your green card. So that is one way to obtain permanent residence. Now you do have other family members. So if you have a parent, so if you can maintain status for a number of years and you have a U.S. citizen or a green card holder parent who can file for you, then that could also be another way. Is it okay to open a business while waiting to be filed for? So Nikki 876, if you open a business, it depends on where you're opening it. Now, what you're applying for, because opening a business, it could be considered working without a permit. If you do have a work permit, that could still allow you to run a business in the United States. That's where you definitely have to get legal advice, because in some cases, if you are working without a work permit, so in Jamaica, so Nikki 876, you're free to open a business in Jamaica, but keep in mind that you have to think about whether you can meet the need to travel to Jamaica, whether you can meet the needs when you have to leave Jamaica. Can you still run that business? So that is a personal or business decision rather than an immigration question. Melanin Queen 50, thanks for the follow. So keep your questions coming, because I am here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So put your questions in the comments now. Is it possible to file for a parent and siblings one time? Yes, you can. So you can file for multiple relatives at the same time. You just want to make sure that you can meet the income requirements of the affidavit of support. Now the sibling petition it does take years, a minimum of 14 years. So it will likely be the parent where you'll have to show you can support your parent before you can show you can support your sibling. Candy Marina, thanks for the follow. My mom filed for me green card. I already have priority date, March 2018. I have no criminal record. So if your mom filed for you and you're over 21, right now it's taking, and you are not married, it's taking 5 to 6 years. And you said green card, so I'm thinking she's a green card holder. It's taking 5 to 6 years right now. That could always change, keep that in mind. But right now your processing time, you're looking at 5 to 6 years. Marissa, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. So you can continue as long as I'm here to keep putting your questions in. How can I become an American citizen without marriage? So first, before becoming a U.S. citizen, you will need to get your green card. And there are multiple ways to get your green card. You become a permanent resident, and those would be through an employer. So if you have an employer who's willing to invest in you in the United States, that could be one way. And there are so many different types of employment-based green cards. So it's very important that you get legal consultation if that is a possibility for you. You can also do it through other family members, through U.S. citizen parent. If you're under 21, if you're over 21, if you're married, unmarried. The processing times do take long depending on which category you fall in. For example, if you're under 21, it could take anywhere from 9 months to 18 months. If you're over 21, it's taking 6 to 7 years and unmarried. If you're over 21, if you're married, it's taking 12 years right now. Now, also a U.S. citizen sibling, it's taking a minimum of 14 years right now. Keep that in mind. So those are some of the ways that you can apply. How can I let my parents come here and make them stay until I become a citizen in 2023? So no, you cannot let your parents come here and stay. They cannot have the intention to stay in the United States. That could spell trouble for them throughout the process. Now, what usually happens is that if they come here to visit and something happens and they end up overstaying, and you become a citizen and apply for them, as long as you're over 21, you apply for them, then they could adjust status there. But you would not be able to, they cannot have that intention to be coming into the U.S. to wait for you to become a citizen. Melanin Queen, you're welcome. Yes, I'm over 21, not married, been USA for 21 years, but I'm qualified for forgiveness waiver. Now, this is how the waiver works. Is if your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent, in this case, I'm thinking it's a parent, that parent will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. So if your parent is very dependent on you, it could be in any way. Is your parent dependent on you for health reasons? Are they dependent on you to help in other respects? Are they dependent on you to assist them with their business? Are they dependent on you in a way that if you don't get the green card, they will face devastating consequences? Then you could possibly qualify for this waiver. Now, everybody's cases are different, and that is where a legal consultation is very important, because then we can talk about what's going on in your particular circumstances to really evaluate whether you can go ahead and fix your situation through this type of it's called an extreme hardship or I-601A waiver. What's the cost? Queen Zena, what's the cost of the consultation? So it's $150 for up to an hour to give you legal advice and to be able to give you options, let you know your options. You avoid mistakes. You walk away knowing how to approach your situation. I'm 25 years old. Can my auntie and grandma file for me? And I am married. So unfortunately, not aunts and grandparents can't file for their grandchildren, or nieces and nephews. Nikki Boo Brown, thanks for the follow. Rain 1626, thanks for the follow. So while I'm here, you can keep putting questions in the comments. I can see that there are many questions coming in, and so I want to be here as long as those questions keep flowing. I want to be here to answer your questions. So you can go ahead and put the questions in the comments. Now, if you don't feel comfortable asking your questions right now, you want to get to know me first, you can go ahead and follow me. And then as soon as you get comfortable and you see me go live, which is every day, you will get notice that I'm live and you can hop on with me. My lawyer is saying I need to go back home to do waiver I-601A, so I'm totally confused now. So Marissa, if you do have a lawyer, this is complex stuff, right? And so this is where a consultation comes in. But if you already have a lawyer, you need to defer to your lawyer's advice, because your lawyer knows your case. Your lawyer knows your situation and your lawyer can advise you. Now, the I-601A waiver is for, I'm going to clarify. So with the I-601A waiver, it allows you to stay. What you do is once your interview is scheduled, you have to fly out of the country for the interview. So if you don't qualify to adjust status in the United States, this would be the next best option, because it allows you to stay in the US, wait for the waiver process to be completed, and then once your interview is scheduled at the embassy in your home country, you attend the interview at the embassy, and the overstay will not be held against you. So Marissa, very important, you defer to your attorney, because their advice is any advice is going to be different. The information I'm giving you here is general information. It's complex stuff. Immigration law is complex, and sometimes it depends on what you are going through as an individual. That's why I encourage you to schedule, not you, Marissa, because you already have an attorney, but anybody else. It's very important to schedule a consultation. When is it possible for me to apply for a visa with my, I'm not sure what the GISIN is. Can you just clarify that question, please? My husband should already have his citizenship, but we're lost, married 8 years with children. Where do we start? So if you're married with 8 years and he is supposed to be a citizen, he should definitely confirm whether he's a citizen. Because if he's a US citizen and you came into the country with a visa, you just overstayed, you could adjust status in the United States. If you didn't come in with a visa, you came across the border without permission or inspection, there is this waiver process to ask for forgiveness for the overstay and then finish the process at the embassy in your home country when your interview is scheduled. So the advice really is going to be dependent on the details I hear about your particular situation, Crystal. And so that's where it's very important to schedule a consultation. If a person is denied a visa for their spouse, do they need to hire a lawyer? So now I always say that a lawyer is not required, but you'll never see me say don't seek legal advice. You'll never catch me saying that. It is your decision to decide whether you want to hire an attorney. But what I can tell you is that an immigration attorney can help you to navigate a complex process, especially in the case of a denial. You want to see what your options are. Whether, sometimes after denial, the consequences can be severe, or you want to approach the situation with care next time to avoid any mistakes that were made previously. That's where an attorney is essential. How do I apply for the green card lottery? So Princess Dial, what you'll have to do is go to the Department of State's website. They usually open it up around every October, and you get to register. You would register there. So what you can do right now is do a practice run. Go to the Department of State's website, put in diversity lottery, and see, go to their official website. Don't do any third parties. Go to the official website and read their instructions there. Crystal Silva, every year the lawyer just files for work visa. We want citizenship. So it sounds like, Crystal Silva, it sounds like your spouse may not be a citizen yet, because if they are still filing for some sort of work visa, that's indicating to me that there's no citizenship. So if you do have a lawyer, you'll definitely have to speak to your lawyer. Let your lawyer know that you are lost and you need guidance, and give the lawyer a chance to clarify what the situation is. When is it possible for me to apply for a visa this year with my husband? Now it depends on what the situation is at the embassy, whether they're accepting applications. You can go to the embassy's website and check in your country to check what is going on, whether they're accepting applications, whether they're closed, what news do they have about their current processes. How long do I have to stay in America? Every 6 months. So Nikki 876, it depends. If you're a permanent resident, you will want to spend most of your time in the United States and not more than 6 months outside of the United States, because that can affect your possibilities to get citizenship in the future. If I have no ties to the US, can I apply for a green card? So you can do it through the diversity lottery. That's like the lottery for the green card. Go to the Department of State website and you can fill in diversity lottery in the search bar, and they will be able to you'll be able to see the instructions. They usually open it up once a year for you to sign up. So Marissa, you're welcome. He has completed that. Now how to proceed. So Crystal Silva, yes, that would be the best way. Call 561-405-4889. You can also, you'll see my number all over my videos. There is a scheduling coordinator who is available, and it's 11 p.m. So the scheduling coordinator is no longer open to accept calls. But what you can do, my phone lines are still open 24/7. So call, leave your name, your information, and then tomorrow the scheduling coordinator will get in touch with you. If someone applied for a work permit, can I leave the U.S. until it's approved? So it depends on what your situation is, Amanda Husbands. Usually you don't apply for a work permit while you're outside of the United States. So it depends on what type of immigration benefit you're applying for. So Salma 17 year 1, thanks for the follow. My case is pending almost 6 years. I applied but nothing new. So Salma 17 Y1, it depends on what type of application you file. Some, believe it or not, takes more than 6 years. So you'll have to check. It's the National Visa Bulletin, where you can check when the priority date, when is your priority date and what priority date are they currently processing. So Marissa, I don't discuss the quotes here just because every case is different, and I want to be fair by providing an accurate quote for the first time. But the consultation fees are $150 and you still get value. You get legal advice, your options, and then you get that quote in the consultation. So you are welcome, Princess Style. Can deportation be waived after 12 years? So no, it is possible to come back after deportation. It just depends on why you were deported, what was the basis of the deportation, and then determine whether there's a waiver or a way to come back. Vince is 01299. Thanks for the follow. So you've been waiting for over a year for an appointment. So keep in mind that's not strange, Sunflower Cash, just because everything is backlogged, but just make sure that they're not waiting for anything for you to submit. So asylum, deportation, please help. So schedule a consultation. And Adeli, let's see what your situation is. You can call 561-405-4889, and then we can talk about whether there is a way to assist. Salma, you're welcome. I've been waiting for my 10-year green card for over a year. I had the 2-year and got the extension. So it is taking quite a while for those to go through. So just hang tight, check on your case, make sure that they're not waiting for anything on your end. And if you need legal advice, you know where to find me. My phone number is all over my videos. What's the procedure to become a citizen in the US? You'll have to have your green card for a minimum of 5 years, show good moral character, be continuously living in the United States for 5 years, and physical presence for at least half of those years. If you're married to a US citizen, you can apply in 3 years rather than 5 years. But those are the basic requirements to apply for citizenship. So are you in California? So Anna Delhi, I am not in California. However, keep in mind I represent clients all over the country, and so I would be, as long as you do qualify for a representation, I can help you. So Nikki Boo Brown, you're welcome. So thank you all so much for your questions. If I didn't get to your question tonight, go ahead and follow me. And as soon as you see me go live, you can go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Hi there, Prince Kevin in Guyana. Is it true that if you have a business in JA, you can travel every 2 years as a green card holder? So no, that's not true. How do you get the US citizenship if you're a student in Canada? So you can't get US citizenship as a student in Canada. You have to qualify as a green card holder first. Anadeli, you're welcome. Marissa, you're welcome. Even though I got the 2 year plus the extension, do I qualify to apply for citizenship? That is a possibility. So as long as you are, if you're still married, you can apply through, married to a US citizen, you still could possibly apply for US citizenship while your process is going through, while the renewal for the 10-year green card is going through. I can definitely help with that. Just call, schedule a consultation. So Mova Faye, no. Under the rules of professional responsibility, I cannot represent a client who's already represented on the same issue. So if you're already represented on the same issue, I can't work with you. If it's a new issue, then yes. I had a domestic violence, but was too scared to apply for a visa because of deportation. So Anna Delhi, this is the area I work with, so I can't stress enough. Schedule a consultation. I want to evaluate your situation and determine which benefit you can qualify for. It may not be too late to apply, so keep that in mind. And if you have a deportation going, that there may be a way to put it on hold to move forward with the other application. So very important, you schedule a consult. Is there any programs available for undocumented people who came here in the United States from JA? So not specifically, but if you qualify in some way for an immigration benefit, then that's where you do a consultation and determine whether you qualify. So Miranda, how do I qualify for the green card? That I'll stay here for another hour. I'm talking about that. So you usually have to qualify through employment, through family, if you are an asylum, if you have asylum, a URT visa, or through the diversity lottery, which is like the lottery for the green card. So Chi 76 Town, you're welcome. So I was married to a U.S. citizen, but now in the middle of divorce because of domestic violence. So Anna Delhi, there are options available. So if you were married, now as long as you're going through divorce, so your divorce has not been finalized, there is a way. And it is through VAWA. Very important you know that. You can actually get your own green card through this process. Get a work permit. Get your own situation straightened out. Can't stress it enough, Anna Delhi. Get the help. Call, schedule a consultation, 561-405-4889. Let's talk about it more and confirm you qualify for this. Because if you have domestic violence, you're divorcing because of it, this is exactly for you. This type of green card is exactly for you. So you want to make sure that you get the help you need to get it started. Don't wait any longer, because this can be something for you. If you overstay in the USA, do you have to marry to get your green card? No, but you likely will have to fix your status. So through a qualifying family member. So what will happen? So there are now, you can obtain a domestic violence waiver. There is a VAWA waiver in deportation. But Anna Delhi, it's a complex situation. So if you do have deportation or you already went through deportation, it's very important for you to act now and get the help to get through that. Patricia Furman too, thanks for the follow. Prince Kevin, thanks for the follow. How do you fix that status? So usually through a waiver, it's going to be through a U.S. citizen spouse, or a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent. So there are ways to fix it that way. Even if you get it through employment, you would have to apply for a waiver. But it depends on your circumstances, Cassandra. And that's where the consultation comes in, because all the information I'm providing here is general information. And so for you to be able to get the specific information you need to schedule a consultation. Are there any programs for undocumented people who needs a surgical procedure, emergency perhaps? So there may be. Sometimes there are medical deferrals, deferrals that can be used, but it's on a case-by-case basis. So if this is a situation that you want to evaluate, schedule a consultation. So Canonier, I am in Boca Raton, Florida, but however, keep in mind I represent clients all over the country. So yes, Anna Delhi, even though it was 14 years ago, there may be a way around that. So schedule a consult. Well, thanks everyone. This was a very good night. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing your questions and allowing me to answer them. I'm here every day. So if you have a question in the future you'd like to ask, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Oh, great. So you're in Florida. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. You can call my phone line. It's open 24/7. There are actual scheduling coordinators who are available between 9:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then noon to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday when you may be off, when you may have the time. So go ahead and put your questions in the, go ahead and call and confirm that. The consultation is $150 for up to an hour. So follow me in the meantime. If you get to know me, and as soon as you feel comfortable, as soon as you see me go live, you can hop on with me and ask your question as well. It was a great night with you all. It always is a good night with you. So, and Marissa, you're welcome. Cassandra, you're welcome. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye.